I was raised without a lot of money. My parents separated when I was very young, and we lived in social housing. And by happenstance, a lot of my friends were from communities of color. When I was young, I didn't really notice there was really a difference between the way I was treated and the way they were treated. When I got a little bit older, especially when I got into high school, I did start to notice that there was quite a difference. A lot of my friends were originally from Afghanistan, they're immigrants to Canada, and this is during the time that 9/11 occurred. So there was a lot of bullying, there was a lot of confrontation in high school. And I noticed that when these confrontations happened, the teachers would always come to me after and say, Bo, what actually happened in this situation? We're coming from the exact same background, we're in the same friend group, the same social group, and why are they coming to me and listening to my voice, but not listening to their voice? And that's when I started to notice that there is a difference in the way that the community is giving weight to different voices based on the color of their skin. And I find that that is the type of thing that environmental racism is based off of.
Bill 111, which was introduced at the Nova Scotia Legislature on November 29th, basically requests that government create a committee to consult with communities that are impacted by environmental racism. The disproportionate location of polluting industries and other environmental hazards or harms in communities of color and the working poor, the lack of voice and the lack of power that these communities have for resisting the siting of these polluting industries in their communities.
They're not going to look at a white community because they're worried that they're going to be more backlash. So they're going to cite them in African Nova Scotia communities. They're going to cite them in First Nations communities because they're not giving that weight to the voice. They're not worried about the concern of these communities going to the media, getting media attention, getting government attention, and able to really rally any type of backlash or any type of movement.
Studies need to be done to look at the association between residents near to these sites and health. Various types of cancer, including rare cancers, asthma, skin disease, respiratory disease, and cardiovascular disease, not only in the community in general, high rates, but also in their family. So many of them have said that just in their family alone, their sister, their brother, their uncle have all died within short spaces of time. Mapping will show the location of these sites near to these communities, and also could be used as a way to say it's highly likely that high rates or elevated risks of cancer and other illnesses are due to the presence of these industries.
You have industrial residues, you have commercial waste, you have residential waste, and a lot of these are volatile chemicals. They can enter the water, they can then get into the drinking water and affect the body. They can get into the air, they can become airborne, and then they can deposit obviously directly on the soil and you're going to get into contact with them, or they can be inhaled into the body. Pulp mills have a lot of environmental toxins they give off specifically in the air, and we also have thermal generating stations, so power stations essentially, that are burning coal, that are burning different fuels such as natural gas, that are also giving off hazardous pollution. And once these pollutants enter the body, we're looking at things like mercury, we're looking at lead, we're looking at pesticides, we're looking at other variety of chemicals that are going to affect the endocrine system, they're going to affect reproductivity, they're going to affect cancer rates.
The first step is what Bill 111 is trying to do, is the government needs to actually meet directly with community members and hear their concerns. The second step would be government involving community members in decisions they make about the location and remediation and management of these sites.
We really need to band together and really need to put our best foot forward. And that means that we have to take leadership roles, we have to really get involved, we have to go out there and actually seek out these problems and then do whatever we can to help mediate these issues.